Today we're going over the top 5 things that you should do before you list your house this fall. Keep in mind number 4 is easily the most important on this list, so make sure you stick around for that. If you are new to the channel, my name is Spencer Lowe. I'm with United Real Estate Louisville, and make sure you click that subscribe button as well as that bell notification so you never miss another video like this or a market update, so that way you're informed on what the market's doing moving forward if you are looking at selling your house. Now the first thing that we need to do, which is important always, but especially in the fall time because it's kind of when things start to change over a little bit, is focus on our curb appeal. Now curb appeal during the spring and summer months are pretty easy. It's just to kind of keep it maintained, but during the fall time things have a tendency to look kind of bare, and then the leaves fall in. If they're not cleaned up relatively regularly during the fall, they can start to pile up and kind of make the yard look like it's going to be a project when they go to move in. So one thing that we can do is hire a company to come in and clean up the leaves if most of the leaves have fallen. And then the second thing is make sure that we are putting out other things to kind of add some touches of color on the outside of the house. Things like pumpkins, mums, and wreaths can have a huge impact on how people see your house, because moving from the fall time or going into the fall time, a lot of the plants are going to start to go dormant, and with that they just kind of look dead, and everything is kind of just looks a little bit more bare than what it would if we were to list in the summer or the springtime. So keep in mind, fall time, we just want to add some elegant touches to the outside of the house to make it warm and inviting, so that way people click on it on Zillow, or if they're driving through the neighborhood, they see it, they actually call on it. Now the second thing is taking care of the inside of the house. Now, when it comes to this, when we start to move from season to season, making it feel like it's just homey when it's fall time is really big and really important, and make sure that we kind of incorporate the seasons into the way that we're staging the house. So, the red flannel or, pumpkins and different things like that, as long as it's classy and it kind of goes with the house, it can make a big difference on the way people see it, and people want to see it how they think they're going to move into it and how it's always going to be. So if it looks like it's something out of a Hallmark movie, chances are they're always going to imagine it as being a Hallmark movie. They've already picked out the place they're going to put the Christmas tree. They picked out where they're going to put, everything else throughout all the seasons. So it's really important that we stage it properly in this part, and we also make it feel like home. So things, especially like apple cinnamon candles or just pumpkin spice candles, something like that, just to kind of add a little bit of a warm touch when they walk through the door, has a huge impact on the way people will see your house this fall, especially if they're coming in from colder weather and they walk in and it just feels like a home. It makes a big difference than it just being another house. Now tip number 3 goes along with tip number 2, but it's a little bit different. Now staging the house is great, but it doesn't matter if nobody can really see it. So we do want to focus on lighting of the house, because the lighting in the house has a huge impact. So when I open all the windows, we also want to make sure that we've got enough light throughout the house, whether that's replacing light bulbs throughout the house, adding a couple lamps or mirrors throughout the house has a huge impact on the way the house will show and feel, because a bright house is warm and inviting. A dark house with dark dingy rooms isn't super inviting. So we want to make sure that it feels like it's well lit. And this is really important because during the fall months we do get a lot of rain, and we do get some cloud coverage here in Louisville, so we're not going to have as much natural light during the day. And then on top of that, the sun's going to be going down a little bit earlier, so we're not going to have 8:30, 9 o'clock sunsets anymore. We're going to be closer to 5, 6, 7 o'clock ish. So we want to make sure that we're if we have late evening showings, we've still got the house lit up, so that way it's bright, warm, and inviting, and the buyers can come in and really see the house and not have to feel like they have to pull out their cell phone flashlights. Now the fourth tip is we want to focus on actually maintaining the house, and we want to start to winterize the house. Now we're going from summer months into the fall time, winter months, and so with that we want to make sure that the house is ready for the winter and the colder weather. So maybe get an HVAC system tune up, clean out the gutters from the leaves. We might go ahead and just start winterizing the property through disconnecting the water hose outside and putting the insulation caps over top of them. Doing different things like that has a huge impact on not just how the property is shown, but also we might be under contract for 45, maybe even 60 days, depending on the negotiations on the front end of how long that contract has to close. So if we're under the contract for 45 days, a lot's going to change from October 1st to November 15th as far as our weather goes. So we want to make sure that the house is ready and prepared for that, so that way we don't have any repairs that we have to do while we're under contract because it wasn't done previously, just with the maintenance. Now tip number 5 is realize it's fall. And what I mean by this is we just want to focus on the fact that the market does change a little bit in the fall. Traditionally in Louisville, for the past 2 years at least, we've seen our absorption rate climb a little bit in the fall. And so with that, all that means is that houses tend to have a tendency to sit on the market a little bit longer than what they did this spring. With that, if you want to know what the market's doing, give me a call. I'd love to sit down and talk to you, but I do have a couple of videos on the market updates. So if you want to go watch those, or if you're just curious about your certain situation, give me a call. I'd love to sit down and talk to you. If you are curious about it though, I do have a home evaluation tool down below. We definitely want to make sure we get your house priced accordingly to the market. advertise it properly. And if you want help with that, down below I've also got my book that you can download. It's Selling Smarter: How I Leverage Social Media to Maximize the Exposure of Your House. And if you put your address in, you're gonna get your home evaluation, and I'll also send you a copy of my book just showing off how we actually get exposure on your house, because it's really important, especially in the fall time months, is to blast that house out to thousands of people and not just a couple hundred with a couple hundred postcards. So give me a call. I'd love to sit down and talk to you. And once again, my name is Spencer Lowe, the United Real Estate Louisville. See you in the next one.